Welcome back, my worn-down witnesses, my weather-stained holdouts, my quietly unraveling keepers of time. Hobo Yeti here from a low concrete edge that used to feel neutral and now feels accusatory, posted up where the city keeps moving and I keep not. There is a kind of homelessness that still has momentum. Early on, it comes with adrenaline, anger, and the charming delusion that suffering is a down payment on redemption. You make plans because plans imply exits, and exits imply someone somewhere is keeping score. You tell yourself this is temporary, a rough chapter, a gritty montage where effort is rewarded and the lesson lands cleanly. People like that version because it reassures them the system eventually hands out gold stars. But this is not that phase. This is the long middle, the extended warranty period of despair, the stretch where nothing collapses loudly enough to trigger intervention and nothing improves enough to justify optimism. Days stop punching you and start leaning on you instead, steady and familiar, like gravity with a sense of humor. I am still homeless, older now, worse in ways that do not photograph well or test well with focus groups. Not dramatic worse, just internally eroded. Despair does not spike here. It levels out and becomes atmospheric, like humidity for the soul. You stop fighting it because fighting assumes a finish line. Instead, you shoulder it like a pack you never meant to keep and walk carefully, hoping it does not decide to get heavier just to remind you who's in charge. 1. The future stops feeling real, and at some point the future loses texture. Not fear, not hope, texture. It turns into a polite abstraction, something you gesture toward when asked, like pointing at a map you suspect is mostly decorative. You stop imagining specifics because imagination costs energy, and energy has become a luxury item. Planning starts to feel dishonest, like promising someone a ride in a car that has been missing since the last recession. Goals feel theatrical. Props from a play that closed early, but keeps insisting on encores. The future becomes fog with manners. Tomorrow is not threatening. That would imply stakes. Tomorrow is just today, wearing a slightly different temperature and pretending it has new ideas. You learn to answer questions about the future with soft language and careful pauses, not because you are sad, but because excitement would imply ownership. The future does not scare you anymore. It just feels like something other people are allowed to believe in without irony. 2. Despair without drama. People expect despair to perform. Tears, rage, public meltdowns that justify casseroles. This version refuses to audition. It is quiet, functional, and deeply inconvenient. You still eat, still walk, still respond when spoken to like a haunted office worker who never took a sick day. The emotional range narrows until everything fits into a small, durable container you can carry without spilling in public. Joy does not disappear. It just stops dropping by unannounced. Sadness does not overwhelm. It settles like dust you stopped cleaning because it clearly lives there now. Despair becomes maintenance level, always on. Background noise you tune out because reacting requires believing something might change if you complained loudly enough. This despair clocks in every day, files paperwork, and waits. It never makes a scene, which is why nobody treats it like the emergency it quietly is. From the outside, it looks like resilience. From the inside, it feels like a ceasefire negotiated by exhaustion. 3rd, energy becomes precious and rare. This is not about physical exhaustion. That part is obvious and boring. This is about initiative, which dies quietly and leaves no note, no forwarding address. The ability to begin erodes first, to try again without feeling like the punchline, filling out one more form, making one more call, telling the same story with fresh optimism, all cost more than they used to. The return on effort keeps shrinking, like an investment that never crashes but also never pays out, just quietly eats your time. Eventually you stop, not because you are lazy, but because the math stops working. Effort without outcome teaches a lesson nobody markets. It trains you to conserve yourself, to move only when necessary, to stop volunteering your energy for experiments that have already published their negative results. You do not quit with fireworks. You simply stop offering parts of yourself to systems that treat persistence like a hobby instead of a survival requirement. 4. Hope starts feeling embarrassing. Hope does not die here. That would be efficient. Instead, it becomes awkward. Saying it out loud feels like admitting you still fall for the trick. You have hoped before, you have watched it evaporate slowly, repeatedly, with witnesses and timestamps. Enough times that hope starts to feel like a personality flaw, like believing in loyalty cards for places that already closed. You do not argue against hope. That would require energy you cannot justify spending. You simply stop inviting it into conversations. You let other people carry it for you like a fragile package you are tired of dropping. Hope becomes something you smile at politely, the way you smile at someone explaining a miracle cure you already tried, documented, and buried quietly. It is not bitterness. It is experience with a decent memory. 5. Aging feels like betrayal. Your body starts siding with the problem. Things hurt longer, heal slower, break easier. You wake up injured by sleep itself, like your joints held a meeting without you and voted unanimously. You cannot outwalk trouble anymore, cannot brute force nights the way you used to. Homelessness is hard when you are young, but youth at least offers elasticity and denial. When you are older, it feels personal, like your body reviewed your circumstances and decided to renegotiate the contract mid-shift. Every ache reminds you that time did not pause just because your life stalled. You are aging inside a holding pattern, accumulating wear without accruing progress. The betrayal is subtle. Your body does not collapse dramatically. It simply stops being generous. And generosity is what survival quietly relies on. The joke is that lasting this long somehow counts as poor planning. 6. The shrinking self. You become smaller, but not physically, internally. Opinions soften because they do not change outcomes. Anger fades because it has nowhere productive to go and no return policy. You stop asserting preferences, stop correcting people, stop explaining yourself unless legally required. The self retracts to conserve resources, like a turtle that learned optimism attracts predators. You are still there, but quieter. Less interested in being known, expression becomes optional, survival crowds out personality. You learn to take up less emotional space, to compress yourself for efficiency, to pass through interactions without friction. Over time, you mistake this for maturity. It feels calm, it feels controlled. Only later do you notice how little room you have left to stretch. Expanding again starts to feel reckless, like spending money you are not sure will ever exist. 7. Being seen feels pointless. Even when someone notices you, it rarely matters. Attention does not translate into support. Sympathy does not alter outcomes. Concern has an expiration date and no warranty. You learn that being seen is not the same as being helped. Visibility becomes a performance with no payoff. After a while, it feels easier to disappear than to explain why nothing changed the last time someone cared. You stop hoping someone will notice because noticing has never been enough. Being invisible hurts less than being acknowledged and forgotten. At least invisibility is honest. It does not promise anything. It does not ask you to perform gratitude for gestures that evaporate the moment the conversation ends. The absurd part is realizing how visible suffering can be and still be treated like background scenery. 8. Time turns heavy, days stack without progress, weeks repeat like reruns nobody asked for, years pass without markers, milestones, or permission. Time stops feeling neutral and starts feeling accusatory. Every season change reminds you how long it has been, how much you lost, how little moved. Aging, while homeless, is not dramatic, it is repetitive. The same problems wearing different weather and slightly worse joints. Time does not heal here. It inventories, it counts, it keeps receipts, and occasionally waves them in your face like a bored accountant. The weight comes from accumulation, not impact. Nothing breaks all at once. Everything wears down together. The gallows humor is realizing that endurance itself eventually gets used as evidence against you, like surviving was a clerical error. 9. Isolation becomes structural. This is not loneliness. Loneliness implies something went missing. This is disconnection built into the design. You are out of sync with normal life, with schedules, conversations, expectations. Relationships drift because you have nothing reassuring to report, nothing that fits cleanly into progress narratives. You become hard to place. Eventually, people stop trying, not out of cruelty, but convenience. You are no longer on the same timeline. And time is what relationships quietly run on. Contact thins. Updates become awkward. Silence becomes mutual. You do not feel abandoned so much as misfiled, like a document nobody knows where to store. The dark joke is realizing how completely you can vanish without anyone making an active decision to leave you behind. 10. still here, without meaning attached. You keep going, but not because of belief, resilience, or purpose. You go on because stopping does not offer anything better, and at least this comes with routine. Survival becomes automatic, stripped of symbolism and motivational speeches. You are not fighting for a future, you are maintaining existence. That is where the despair really lives, not in suffering, but in endurance, without direction. Still here, still breathing, still carrying weight without pretending it leads somewhere. There is no lesson attached, no arc promised, just continuation because momentum exists, even when meaning does not. The gallows humor is realizing that persistence gets mistaken for strength when it is really just inertia wearing a brave expression. This is the part of homelessness people do not like to imagine, not the crisis, not the comeback, the long erosion, the years where nothing collapses loudly enough to attract help and nothing improves enough to restore belief. Still homeless, older, worse, not tragic enough to fix, not hopeful enough to celebrate. I hope your road is a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. And remember, despair does not always look like giving up. Sometimes it looks like continuing without believing it matters. Peace.